Friends, today I am going to say a few words about the detection of outlier in sample data. The basic concepts is like this: if any observation or observations among the sample data fall outside the overall pattern of all other data, then that observations or those observations may be treated as a potential outlier in the data set. The presence of outlier may be due to recording error of the researcher at the time of compilation, or cleaning the data, or measurement error, or collection from a different population, or abnormal responses intentionally provided by the respondent, etc. These are the various reasons for the presence of outlier. Suppose for collecting sample data related to consumption and income of the people of Maharashtra, or for the calculation of APC, if the researcher selects Mr. Ambani's income and consumption, this observation may be treated as an outlier, since the calculation of APC of the people of Maharashtra from sample data may not reflect the true population parameter. The effects of outlier. There are different opinions related to the effects of outlier in economic literature. Outlier affects on variance and hence standard deviation of a data distribution. Outliers are not necessarily a bad thing. These are just observations that are not following the same pattern than the other one. Outlier is very interesting for science because it could lead to new scientific discoveries. So it is important to detect outliers. Similarly, statistical patterns and conclusions might differ between analysis including versus excluding outliers. Okay, these are the different opinions in the literature. How to detect outlier? There are generally two simple techniques for the detection of an outlier in the sample data. First one includes the following steps. First, find first quartile and third quartile, that is Q1 and Q3 from the sample data. And remember, Q1 is nothing but the 25th percentile and Q3 is the 75th percentile. Same thing. Find interquartile range just by subtracting Q1 from Q3. Calculate lower limit and upper limit by using the following formula. Lower limit is equals to first quartile minus 1.5 into interquartile range. Upper limit is equals to third quartile plus 1.5 into interquartile range. This formula has been developed by Tukey. Now put all the observations on a straight line and also indicate the lower limit and upper limit. Any observations below the lower limit or above the upper limit may be treated as a potential outlier in the sample data. So this is diagrammatic presentation. This is the lower limit, this is the upper limit. By using that formula we can able to calculate this one. Now put all the observations in on a straight line. Now identify if any value lies below the lower limit or above the upper limit, then they may be treated as potential outlier. Second method. The second method is the box plot. In this case you have to take the help of SPSS. Any observation which is located above the upper whisker or below the lower whisker of the box plot may be treated as a potential outlier in the sample data. So this is the box plot, lower whisker, upper whisker. If any point lies between these and this, so we can able to get little bit idea about the potential outlier from this method. So these are the references. If you are interested, go to the references. Now how can we able to show this manually? So this is the data, previous data, that is weight of the students taken randomly. Okay, by chance we have taken two samples, 158 and 15 by mistaken or by any recording error, whatever it may be, due to these two reasons. So we want to see whether these two are may be treated or maybe as a potential, may be treated as a potential outlier or not. So we are we can calculate in this way also, that okay, calculation I am showing later on, but for this moment, okay, this is our SPSS software and we have imported the data from Excel. Okay, now go to analyze, go to descriptive statistics, go to explore, and this is weight coming to the right side, statistics. Okay, outlier, percentiles, click this one, plots, stem leaf, we don't need stem leaf, maybe histogram may be taken, continue, options, no change, continue, click OK. Okay, so case processing summary, valid cases, case missing cases, okay, and percentiles. Okay, percentiles, as I told that 25th percentile may be treated as is Q1 and 75th percentile is Q3. So we can able to get Q3 and Q1. So on this basis of these two value, we can able to calculate that Q3 is 80, Q1 is 59.5, Q 59.50, okay, and 80. Now we can calculate interquartile range. Q3 minus Q1 is 20.5. Now we can able to calculate 1.5 into interquartile range. Okay, 1.5, just by multiplying the interquartile range by 1.5 we can get 30.75. Now lower limit we can calculate Q1, the 59.5, that is Q1 minus 1.5 into interquartile range, that is 28.75, and upper limit Q3 it will be plus, okay, plus 1.5 into interquartile range, that is it will be 20 plus 80, that means 105, it will be 105, okay, point interquartile range Q3 80 plus 20.5, 100.5, sorry, 100.5, it will be 100.5, okay, 100.5. So any observations which is above the 100.5 or which is below the 28.75 may be treated as potential outlier. Now we are observing the SPSS outcome. The SPSS outcome, you know, histogram. From histogram we can get little bit idea that there may be the possibility of two outlier, you know, two are completely distinct from the other, okay, and the box plot also showing that 57th observation and 56th observations is treated as outlier because they are outside the box plot, okay. So in this way we can able to identify the potential possibility of or existence of possible outlier in the data set. So one is from box plot, any observations which is outside the box plot, the histogram which is far from that traditional histogram diagram, and the extreme values we are getting from percentiles. Also we can able to calculate Q1 and Q3, and by applying the formula we can able to calculate the possible values of outlier in the data set. So with these few words I am concluding for this video. Thank you for watching.